For generations, Western ranchers have worked to beef up their cows. As a result, most cattle headed for slaughter these days are big, walking slabs of meat big. Now, an opposite trend is taking hold in the cattle industry: mini cattle. Their fans say the smaller breeds are more efficient and friendlier to the environment. The story of mini cattle spans the West. Reporter Megan Verley visited a mini cattle auction in Denver at the largest stock show in the West. But first, KUOW correspondent Anna King tromped around the Washington State Farm, where many of the breeds were developed.
We're at the Happy Mountain Miniature Cattle Farm in Covington, Washington. It's in the shadow of Mount Rainier. The diminutive cows and bulls here don't know that they're smaller than most. They moo just about as loud as regular cows, but the big ones, like this black and white steer, are about waist high. But then, across the farm, owner Richard Gradwohl shows me one of his tiny ones.
Benji. Hi, Benji. Hello, sweetheart. There you go. Come on, Benji. Come on, sweetheart. That's a good boy.
Benji is a bull calf. He's a few months old now, and about the size of a small Labrador. Even though dozens of calves have been born on this miniature cattle ranch, Gradwohl acts like a new grandpa around this little guy.
Come on, Benji. Look my way.
Benji's one of the highest priced calves on the farm. He's worth about $4,500. That's because he's a new breed called Panda. Just like the bear, he's got black around his eyes and a white stripe around his belly. The Panda is just one of the 18 breeds of miniature cattle that Gradwohl has developed in the last 40 years. Gradwohl says seeing a new breed of calf hit the ground is still totally rewarding.
It means that you've arrived. You've done it. You've climbed the mountain. You know, it's about the same thing as somebody climbing Mount Everest, I think. It's better than that, I think, though, because it's not cold. Not as cold.
Gradwohl started breeding mini cattle because his farm was getting hemmed in by development. He needed smaller cattle for smaller acreage. Developing new breeds is all very complicated. Half-brothers to half-sisters, cousins to cousins.
The Panda with the belt produces a belted Kingshire.
I gotta say, I'm frankly, like some of these, I'm a little confused. Yeah. You've got my head spinning with the crosses and the recrosses and
the 2 retrieval crosses and 4 retrieval crosses.
How do you keep all that straight?
Oh, well, you got to be a college professor.
Miniature cattle have also become a big deal across the country. For that story, we turn to my colleague, Megan Verley, in Denver. Hey, Megan.
Hey, Anna. I'm at the National Western Stock Show, where breeders are getting their mini cattle ready for auction. These half-sized Angus don't come from Gradwohl's stock, but they were produced by a similar experiment in Australia. Right now, they're patiently submitting to blowers and clippers to look their best. It can take a bit of a thick skin to bring a miniature cow to the West's biggest stock show. Just ask breeder Joe Nauer about the ribbings he takes from a friend with regular cattle.
He says, "How's the midget cow farmers doing today?" And so he kind of teases a little bit, but I don't mind. It's all in fun, you know.
You won't be able to pick up a mini cow steak at Safeway anytime soon, but backers say there are plenty of reasons commercial producers should consider going small. They eat a lot less than regular cattle, they produce a higher percentage of beef, and they're an easy sell to health-conscious consumers. Small cattle are often grass-fed, and their steaks come in naturally smaller portions. Breeder and auctioneer Neil Efford says all that is fueling a boom in mini cows.
We do see a lot of growth, and especially now because of escalating costs and people trying to manage their ranches more efficiently, there's a real increased interest in these low-line cattle.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the auction is underway. And start them along and tell me what you bid for. I'm at $10,000 on them. I'll let everybody bid. I'm at $2,000, but you get $2,500.
Some of these cattle fetch more than regular Angus. For miniature cow fans, though, the bottom line is hardly the last word. That's what reporter Anna King found out in her time with breeder Richard Gradwohl. Right, Anna?
Yeah, Megan. Back here in Washington, Gradwohl says his mini cattle business has become successful. But it's still hard to see calves like Benji go down the road to sale. It's also hard to see the smallest cattle slaughtered for beef if they didn't make the cut for pets.
My wife cries. No, goodbye. We wave to them as they go down the road. It can be pretty traumatic sometimes. But, we're in the business, and we place animals with other people But if we didn't do that, we would just have so many animals we wouldn't know what to do with.
Gradwohl says the demand for mini cattle has declined a bit in the down economy, but that hasn't deterred him much. Gradwohl is now dreaming up more new breeds like mini Jerseys and mini Holsteins. I'm Anna King in Covington, Washington.